Hey guys, I did my informative speech on carriers' concealed rights, specifically on campus. Um, so let's just get right into it. During the last decade, gun violence has been more prevalent, with the increase in 2012 and steady acts of violence over the course of the next 7 years. It's important to stay informed. The fact of the matter is that most of these heinous, despicable acts happen within gun-free zones. The perpetrator does this in an act of cowardice under the shroud of the safety, assuming that nobody else has guns to protect themselves. The fact is that when there's a bad person with a gun, we call good people with a gun every single time. The one fact, along with the fact that criminals will obtain guns illegally, in fact, a recent Department of Justice report of prison inmates that used guns in their crimes showed that 56% of their guns were obtained illegally, and another 25% received them from family members, which, by the way, family members are still allowed to get guns under this law. And that's from the Congressional Digest of November 2019, Volume 98, Issue 9, and that's page 12. Um, so, like I was saying, we not only should every citizen have the right to defend themselves, but we should train our teachers to protect the people who are not able to protect themselves. Kelly V. Ruggles and Sonali Rajan explain that gun violence in American schools and communities has and continues to be a serious public health concern. Each year, nearly 3,000 youth are killed and approximately 16,000 are injured by guns. Although an individual must be at least 18 years of age to purchase a gun or rifle, um, or a shotgun at 21, to or a handgun as well. A subset of American youth still gain access to guns, subsequently increasing their risk of engaging in or becoming victims to gun-related violence. Volume 9, Issue 11. She then goes on to explain how the 18-year-old buying age of guns can be finessed through legal loopholes. Thus, I do agree that some screening process for buying firearms should be more strict, given the possibility of firearm misuse. The fact remains that firearms need to be made available to all law-abiding citizens who have taken the proper self-defense courses. Gun control has a history of being ineffective. Although Ruggles claims over 400,000 individuals are victims of other forms of firearm-related violence annually, additionally, current research confirms that stricter gun control efforts are effective in curbing gun violence and substantially reducing the number of firearm-related injuries and deaths. Volume 9, Issue 11. I cannot think of a single example of that being true. I can, however, think of multiple examples of gun control being sloppily ineffective. Chicago, Illinois is quite possibly the most dangerous city in the United States, next to St. Louis. In 2011, 83% of murders involved a firearm, and 6.4 were results of stabbing. Known for its gun crime specifically, Chicago is a gun-controlled city, so they are a gun-free zone. Where the result of its, so like I said, is known for its gun crime specifically. Australia took away its guns from its citizens by going to their doors and arresting them if they didn't comply. The following years have had a spike in home invasions as well as stabbings. Britain is another example of gun control leading to home invasions as well as stabbings. Open carry policy has done extremely well in curbing gun violence. The state of Texas is a paramount example of how common sense gun laws can prevent mass shootings. In the last 10 years, Texas has only seen 7 mass shootings, all of which were in gun-free zones. Comparatively speaking, that's less than other states such as California or Michigan, according to Edward F. Huardes, Jr. and Yvette V. Gatling. Effective January 1st, 2016, holders of handgun license in Texas may lawfully carry their handguns in an open manner as long as the handgun is secured in a shoulder belt or holster. These open carry policies have saved a lot of people's lives. On December 29, 2019, when Jack Wilson decapitated an active shooter at the church in White Settlement, Texas. Wilson is a hero If he had not been there, people would have definitely died. This is a good example of an open carry policy being effective. Even if you make guns completely illegal and you take away guns from registered gun owners, criminals will still obtain guns illegally. In the best case scenario, portrayed, you have now taken every single citizen's ability away. I'm sorry, you've now taken every single citizen's ability to defend themselves. Criminals, knowing this, become more confident. If a criminal broke into your home and you have no way of defending yourself, um, if you have no way of defending yourself, if they obtained a firearm illegally, or a 3D printed gun for that matter, or even a gun someone built. Technologies of the 21st century have made getting guns a lot more easy. Criminals will get guns via the dark web or by some other means illegally, and then the only people with guns will be criminals and the police you call when you're confronted by one. Hopefully, they come quickly. I personally believe that I would rather take defending myself in my own hands, so I would not have to rely on the police showing up quick enough to, get rid of the threat. Teachers should be required by law to learn self-defense courses. Carriers concealed, and they should be allowed to have carriers concealed on campus, because a lot of these shootings are happening in gun-free zones, campuses, and churches. Think about how less effective the active shooter at the Stoneman Douglas High School would have been had there been a fully armed staff to deal with these types of situations. Teachers also have the right to defend themselves as well. A lot of shootings happen in schools and campus, and it's only fair for our teachers and our students to have a fair chance of defending themselves. Students should also be allowed to carry concealed, granted they pass the screening process and take proper self-defense courses. As a student at Indian River State College, I would love to feel safe. The only way I could truly feel safe is if I have the proper means to defend myself. It's a shame. It's a shame that this is the time we live in. But it is what it is. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Most of the student body would agree with me on that, especially the ones who are also parents. I think it's very important to stay protected in our campuses and in our schools. Carry concealed in our schools is a controversial topic, obviously, with lots of strong opinions. I urge people who are afraid of firearms to at least reconsider allowing people to protect you, even if you are afraid of firearms. The facts point to gun control creating more violence, and mass shootings almost exclusively happen in gun-free zones. So arguably, gun-free zones are what is dangerous. Some people have poor mental health. That is why it's important for screening process to be thorough, and it's important for all law-abiding citizens to be able to protect themselves, and paramount for our teachers to protect our students. As far as opposing viewpoints go, Kelly Ruggles' article basically stated that a lot of it stated both sides of the argument. So it stated a lot of the reasons that these mass shootings are happening is because of poor mental health. So I do agree with her on that, which is why I think the screening process should be more thorough. But anyway, that's my presentation. I went ahead and created a PowerPoint for all the visuals to kind of assist you on all this information, because I was going to print off the Constitution, but my printer isn't working, so that's what I had to use. Anyway, I hope you like it, and thank you for your time.